I think it's time that I've made myself a joiner's mallet. Now before, when I would do chiseling, I was using this rubber mallet, which isn't bad, but I don't think it quite has the striking force that a solid object would have. So I have some leftover chunks of wood here, a 4x4. I'll just cut that into the head of the mallet. And I've got this chunk of wood over here I think would work nicely for the handle. I'll just have to rip off a slab of it on the table saw. Anyway, let's get this going. Okay, let's start off by ripping the handle. I have set the blade to, well, let's see, 1 inch from the fence. And this piece of wood is about 2 inches wide, which is wider than I need, but that's because I need to taper it down a little bit when it goes into the head. Anyway, I'm going to make the handle 15 inches to start, and we'll see how it goes from there. Okay, let's cut the handle to length. I've adjusted the saw to about 10 degrees to give me these nice angles on this, because this will be the top. So now I'm going to cut this out. Okay, here I've got my handle laid out. I'm going to go with 1 1/4 inch width down here. This is going to be waist, and it's going to taper up to the width of this piece of wood, which happens to be 1 inch and 15/16. And I have drawn the corresponding mortise marks onto this block. So this is going to be close to 2 inches, and that'll be 1 1/4 inch, or just over, so it'll slip through easily. And it'll just have to taper to make its fit. So now let's go ahead and rip this on the table saw. Alright, I finally have a reason to use my wedge-powered vise. Let's go ahead and get my piece of wood. I gotta continue cutting these down, and I figured I would just do that with a handsaw. And this is why I need a mallet. Okay, that is nice and tight. Okay, now we got to create these angled parts. Not too sure what the best route for that would be. Maybe I should stick it in here and plane it down. I wonder if I could hit that with the plane. I'm going to try it. Let's try this. Okay, time to bore some holes into the mallet head. Okay, I've drawn on a couple of guidelines to go from the wide top to the narrow bottom, and I'm just going to kind of have to eyeball this. And as luck would have it, I had a 1 inch wide chisel that I'm going to see if I can use to chisel this out. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started on this. Let's see, we always follow the bevel. Let's see. So far, I'm not impressed with this old chisel. Yeah, this thing is just mashing the wood, it's not even cutting. Okay, let's get the proper chisel then. See if we can actually get it to go into the wood here. Not too bad. Yeah, it's working a little better. Okay, so I just got the mortise done, and it's rough, but it'll work. So narrow opening, wide opening, and here is my handle. It's got its taper, some spare wood on top. Let's see how it fits. Okay. Tell you what, I think that might just work. Okay, so now I need to, I guess, shape up this handle to a round, because square is pretty rough on the hands. I might take off some of this, leave about a 1/4 inch maybe, and then I'd like to smooth off all these corners, probably with the plane. So, yeah, looks like it's going to work. So I went on Amazon and actually bought a spoke shave. This was dirt cheap. I mean, it was only like $14 from Amazon. And it's a Stanley. I think it's, yeah, number 151. So it's the newer version, but I think it'll work just fine. But anyway, now we have another reason to use the vise. So let's go ahead and get things in here. Okay, so this will be my top mark, so then I want to cut it off probably about right here-ish. There we go. Now, let's go ahead and just saw this off of here. Okay, let's see if we can use the vise to help knock off these corners. With the spoke shave. Okay. Now we got some nice rounded corners there. I keep forgetting to see which side is which on this thing. It's pretty straight. I don't know, maybe 10 degrees was a bit much, but 10 degrees made it aim straight back to my hand, so I figured that would be the ideal place. We'll just have to see. Anyway, I think that'll do it for the mallet. Just a quick, simple pine mallet. I figured I would give it a test just to see how the new wooden mallet does against the rubber mallet. Now the rubber mallet wasn't bad, but it just doesn't have the sharp striking capacity. I mean, you can see it is chiseling a mortise, and it isn't doing a bad job. But when I use this thing, it weighs just about the same, but because it's a lot more rigid, I believe it goes in a lot harder. It really mashes things. I mean, you can see it's really digging down into that. Anyway, I think we will retire the old rubber mallet for some other use.